Welcome to Jesus and His Commands. How about that for a title? If we look at the Bible and we look at what Jesus did in His ministry, which I think lasted about 2.5, maybe 3 years, He had a lot to say, a lot to give us to think about, many things as far as how we could or should or ought to live our lives, how we can get closer to God, all kinds of stuff. However, He only gave us 2 commands, okay? And He even pointed out that these are 2 new commands, and they're actually quite easy. Nothing really crazy, wild, difficult for most people to be able to do. The first one is to love God with all of our hearts, minds, and souls, okay? If we look at that just for a moment, even though it's pretty profound, and we can talk about that for quite a long time if need be, to love God with those attributes, which are 3 of the 4 attributes that humans have: the emotional, the spiritual, and the mental. If we love God with all of that, it's really not that difficult, okay? That, to me, means that we give and do everything we can for God and with God and to God, okay? The second one was kind of a twist on one of the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments, it says, love thy neighbor as thyself, or your neighbor as yourself, whichever way you want to talk about it. Jesus put a twist on that, and He said, love one another as I have loved you. Okay? Now, to me, this is the 4th attribute of human beings, which is the physical. Okay? Because if we look at how Jesus loved us, I don't believe, even though He cared for us in an emotional way, I don't think He was referring to the emotional lovey-dovey, oh, you're so wonderful type of way. I believe that we are supposed to love one another as Jesus loved us, which is by what He did. Okay, He served. He got on His hands and knees and washed people's feet. He fed the hungry. He healed the sick. He cared for people. He respected people. He looked after those around Him. He tried to teach those around Him the things that He knew. That was the love, a giving, a caring. Somebody once said, love is the unconditional giving of oneself for the sole purpose of making somebody else's life just a little bit better. To me, that would sum up what the love that Jesus was talking about. So those are His 2 commands. And if we follow those 2 commands, it is so easy to have everything else that He taught us and the other things that He expects us to do fall into place very quickly and very easily. Now, when we are loving people, we do it by our gifts. Okay, everybody is gifted. Some people can sing, some people can dance, some people do art, some people can cook, some people are great with talking to people, etc., etc., etc. So the one thing that we all have in common, that we all can do, is what we call random acts of kindness. I'll say that again, random acts of kindness. That is letting somebody in front of you in the line, that is waving to somebody, asking somebody how they are, and actually wanting to know how they are. Not just, yeah, how's it going? No, how are you today? It means a lot to people. It means a lot if I stop my car and let a pedestrian walk across the road. I don't know what kind of day they're having. They could be having a miserable day and have all the weight of the world on their shoulders, and then all of a sudden this random guy comes along and does something nice, okay? That is something that we all can do in order to fulfill love one another as I have loved you. Plain and simple. So give it some thought. Send some feedback. Feel free to follow us. I'd love to hear what everybody thinks about all this. And bottom line is, have a wonderful day, and I look forward to our next segment, okay? Bye-bye.